Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another race of the Bwoah Racing League, and we head to the Hockenheimring, Germany. A brilliant one at that. We are awaiting the drivers to lobby up. This was supposed to happen well before the Hungaroring race, but since Big Man Joe couldn't make it and a couple of other drivers really were interested to race on this track, we decided to postpone it, and today's the day. We race at Germany. We got a debut driver as well, VPA. We saw him enter the lobby last time around just to watch his friends Harry Rocks 24 as well as Only Cuppy race, and then he left, and clearly we were clueless on who that is. And the next following weekend, which is today, he's in the league. So we appreciate him for that, and it's always nice to have another driver on board. Fills up the grid, and that's what we really want anyway. And yep, if you're here watching for the first time, we are the Bwoah Racing League. We're hosted by the RoadRunnerRacingCo Esports. A bunch of drivers get together every weekend to race. Points are up for grabs. Realistic performance in the F1 2019 game. Why the F1 2019 game? That's what we started off with prior to the F1 2020 game even releasing, open to buy. So moving on to next season, we will have the league on the F1 2020 game. And of course, if you want F1 2020 action, we are partnered with Esports for the Race to Zero Hour, the super casual race series where folks can just join the Discord server, mark your attendance, and just go racing. Making it easy for everyone who are passionate about Formula 1 and sim racing. That's what we intend to do. That's what we will continue to do as well. So short qualifying, 18 minutes will be the format for qualifying. Let's see who come out on top. KDB and Big Man Joe, who were on a leave of absence, so to speak, have returned. And like I mentioned earlier, the debut driver VPA is here too. We'll see where he'll put himself on the grid. And Harry Rocks 24, after a brilliant win in the Hungaroring, will be looking forward to a nice race here too. Only Cuppy, double podium out of the 3 races he's been in the league for. So that's impeccable as it is. Let's see what he can do. So drivers are lobbying up. If you're here, make sure you drop in the chat who you're here for, which driver you are here to support. I know a bunch of the friends of these drivers are always active in the chat, so keep the chat buzzing. As the drivers lobby up, short qualifying should begin momentarily. And to the 5 of y'all watching pretty early here, and that's what we like to see. Make sure you call your friends if you haven't already. I'm pretty sure you're here for one of the drivers or a couple of them, because I'm pretty sure a bunch of them are from the same college. We grew up together throughout their uni years, so that's amazing. And let's see how they perform today at the Hockenheimring, the German GP of the Bwoah Racing League. Yes, this time around it's just me because Rudra, my co-commentator, is not feeling too great today. As we wait, make sure you drop in the chat. Let's get the chat buzzing. Let's drop in the chat who you're here for. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a couple of Only Cuppy, friends of Only Cuppy, and as well as Harry Rocks 24. Gouts is another competitor who has a lot of friends coming in the chat, and Accelerate as well. Accelerate, speaking of Accelerate, he's probably the one to watch out for as he's climbing a lot in the driver standings, and looks like we are ready to go for the shock qualifying. Yep, Germany shock qualifying at the Hockenheimring. 18 minutes for each driver to set their fastest lap times, which determine their place on the grid for the race. We've seen quite the action even in qualifying. We've seen crashes, we've seen drivers spinning, we've seen a driver do donuts as well in the previous race. So shock qualifying is no short of any entertainment. Gouts killing it, says Rick Sanchez, and Gouts' friends are in the chat already. Roshan and Rick Sanchez. Let's see which driver will be out and about first. Gouts seems to be performing much better than before. He did a brilliant strategy at the Hungaroring, and he was pretty proud of it himself. Finished P4 after a couple of time penalties were slapped to a couple of drivers, and he'll be looking to perform even better here. He led the race last time around for a couple of laps. Let's see what he can do here. Shock qualifying at the German GP begins. Yep, first one out is a Red Bull, followed by a couple of more other competitors. Renault of the Supreme Leader. Unfortunate couple of races for him. Neither of the races did he score any points. He was one of the competitors, probably the only competitors who could have gotten the jump on Big Man Joe in the driver's standings, but unfortunate for him. And Big Man Joe pretty much had a good time, even though he was away from the league. Let's see what he can do here today. Supreme Leader on his out lap. He'll be looking to put a brilliant lap at that. And of course, a bunch of these drivers did compete last night in the Ultimate E Battle of Stars. We saw him, we had a watch along, and we will have a watch along tonight as well as they compete in another race in the similar series. Unfortunate crash there for Supreme Leader as well. Let's hope all that bad luck disappears today at Germany. Sicknig in the Red Bull, a lad who's been aggressive in the recent couple of races, finished pretty strong compared to the start of the season, and Sector 3 goes yellow as he slows down. Oh, a bit of traffic in the pit lane as 4 drivers come out along with a McLaren Alfa Romeo, and the Red Bull comes on the main straight. 16 minutes to go. Williams swerving intensely there. What is happening to those drivers? Only Kapi will be looking for a third podium. Possibly it will be his 4th race and a 3rd podium if he can pull it off. Rusty Nish did put himself on the podium, but missed out on a race win. He'll be aiming for that. UK. He gets caught off guard at the race to 0R, but he's always strong at the BRL. Has been in the recent past. Let's see if we can pull out something here today at shock qualifying of the German GP. Fan boost, says Roshan. A little bit of Formula E essence there. Big man for the win. Yes, Vineet, Rocket Man, who was driving for the Alfa Romeo team in the Bwoah Racing League, is in the chat. Unfortunately for him, he won't be joining us for the rest of the season, but he will be back for the next one. And Thor joins us after a long time, and he sets a lap time as well. Brilliant. 1 minute 17.247. Sicknig betters that one by over 2.5 seconds. Ooh. And Supreme Leader gets in the mix as well, splits the 2 drivers, and the McLaren making way for another driver there. Big Man Joe, on board Big Man Joe on his out lap, and the new driver, the debut driver, VPA 999 alongside Big Man Joe, taking the seat of Rocket Man. Let's see if we can do better than Rocketman or maybe on the same level. Eight drivers have set their lap times already, but it's just the beginning as we've got well enough time, just over 13 and a half minutes left, and KDB will start another fast lap as his previous one got invalidated, if I'm not wrong. It did. Sector 2 and 3 go yellow. I'm guessing a bunch of drivers are making sure they give way to the ones on their fast laps. Freeze in the Mercedes AMG. Look at that time difference between Freeze and UK. That's so minute. He'll be on the top of his game in this race for sure. He did mention that going in the German GP, he will be confident of a positive result, and it should play into his favor this track. Only Cuppy making sure he's up there as well. But of course, KDB hasn't set a lap time. VPA on his debut hasn't set a lap time either. Wixie56 hasn't either. Rusty Nish manages a P9 only. And a bunch of drivers run off into the pits. Big Man Joe still outside. Looks like he's cruising. Doesn't seem like he's on a fast lap, even though it will be timed. And Supreme Leader and VC56 walk in the two Renaults. The team to reckon with is Will they be able to produce a result today? Is the question. They've shifted from Racing Point to the Renault. The lads who've joined Racing Point are equally great. Brilliant performance, podium for both last time around at the Hungarian GP. Let's see if the Renaults can put themselves there as well. Setu RC18, a brilliant Haas lad. He has been showing executing pretty well on track and great results, of course. A brilliant team, that Haas, UK and Setu RC18, and a lap time as that Mr. Wex goes P6. Looks like there's only 4 drivers on the grid who haven't set a lap time, one of them being Gouts. So I'm pretty sure a bunch of them in the chat will be inquisitive to see his lap time. And let's go. On board Gouts, the Supreme Leader parks the car almost on the right hand side of the track, making sure Gouts' lap time or anyone else on the track is in, making sure they're not interfered. Gouts will start his fast lap anytime now as he comes around sector 3. Incredibly slow. Okay, he's taking his time. Clearly, right now the lap time to beat with just 10 minutes to go is 1 minute 13.453. And Gouts will start his fast lap. Sector 1 goes yellow. Looks like there's a car incredibly slow. Goes that bit wide there. Try to take too much of the curb. Still looks pretty strong. Fantastic thing about this is he did mention that going to McLaren actually helped him. He was in the Renault, he shifted to the McLaren recently when there was an opportunity, and he felt he's doing much better off in the McLaren rather than in the Renault. The results speak for themselves, of course, and P4 being his best result, hopefully we see him on the podium soon enough. Sector 2 time looking not too shabby. He should be able to put himself in the top 10 at least. We have seen strong qualifying sessions by both McLarens. Oh, beautiful corner for him there. Takes too much of the curb, and yes, his lap will be invalidated. He just made a mistake going into that third sector. Big mistake there. Big Man Joe seems to have left the session unfortunate, and like I said, Freeze has set the fastest lap there. 1 minute 13.134, and sector 1 and 2 go yellow. Eight minutes to go in the short qualifying of the German GP. Thunderbird, VPA and Gouts are the only drivers on track left to set a lap time at least. And I'm sure the other set of drivers will come out and set a lap time. And as I said so, Rusty Nish with a 1 minute 13.063, putting himself on provisional pole. See if he can make one. Gouts puts himself at P13 after an invalidated lap time, and he went on to set another one. So P13 not good enough. He'll be looking to set himself closer to his teammate. Mr. Wex is up into P7. Sri Watson, our pit lane pal and our commentator at the Race to Zero, is on track in the Red Bull. And he's in P6 looking mighty fine. He'll be happy about that, and we are as well. Seeing our mates perform impeccably on track is what we enjoy. And a little bit of banter in the chat. Lawrence Stroll to adopt Gouts for Aston Martin next year to partner Vettel. That's a good one. And so this is telling me Lance Stroll welcomes decision to give up seat for Gouts next year, and also gets a step brother in the bargain. Oh, Rick Sanchez with the jokes. Legend, said Lando Norris when he found out Gouts is in a McLaren in the Bwoah Racing League. Oh, Rick Sanchez, stay with us till the end of the race, mate. We like your jokes. Pretty entertaining, but a McLaren's off track there, and it's not Mr. Wex, which means it was Gouts. Yes, maybe he's just chilling off track. Lap time invalidated. Thor is on his outlap in the Williams. VPA's lap time only gave him a P16. Rusty Nish still holds provisional pole, but Freeze has to close in that gap, and he has come out on his outlap. Oh yes, they did mention Rusty Nish and Freeze will be battling it out. Freeze seems to be swerving a bit, just getting into the rhythm right before the race, and probably another fast lap, making sure he gets pole, just to make sure he gets pole. And UK is in the mix as well, as the Ferrari of Rusty Nish comes out onto track to better his own lap time. Perhaps we will see. Let's go on board the Scuderia Ferrari of Rusty Nish. Slows down instantly, laying through the Mercedes AMG of Freeze. Two competitors, we'll see these two race incredibly today as we await for the short qualifying to end. 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Of course, another message in the chat which we missed out. Prerna says, Gouts, come on, kill it. Gouts has incredible support here today. He'll be looking to do a good lap, putting in a good lap in qualifying, and perhaps a possible podium in the race, but that's left to time, so to speak. Only in time will we find out. Big man Joe's back in the picture. Supreme Leader not looking too shabby. KDB as well, but Rusty Nation Freeze is looking mighty strong at Hockenheimring. Only Copy, a bit of a moment there going off track, and Freeze does set a fast lap, and what a fast lap that was. 1 minute 12.841, putting the Mercedes AMG on provisional pole. Nice to see the Mercedes and the Ferrari fight, at least in the Bwoah Racing League. I'm pretty sure Ferrari fans won't be too happy what's going on in real F1. Absolute disaster for Ferrari in real Formula 1, and we can just hope for it to get better, but well, let's just hope. I'm at a loss of words after yesterday's qualifying, after what could unravel in today's race, after the Bwoah Racing League in Belgium. Well, I don't even know what to say. KDB in the pits, punches them in the pits, cruising there. UK, he's got a mate, a Red Bull there, She Watson. Rasnesh on a fast lap. Sector 3 looking good. 1 minute 6 right around the last corner. Will he get provisional pole? Will he? Yes, he will. 1 minute 12.137. The Scuderia Ferrari is on pole. He slows down to make sure his mate goes by. The racing point, of course. Rasnesh on provisional pole. 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes to go into short qualifying, and yes, a bunch of drivers come out of the pits onto the outlaps. Perfect timing, of course, and let's see what kind of a lap time they can put in. Rusty Nish seems confident, but he doesn't have even a second's gap to Freeze, and knowing Freeze, the driver he is and the car he's in, that time could be crushed very easily. But a perfect lap is what he needs as he comes out of the pits with 1 minute 35 seconds to go. Let's see if he can beat Rusty Nish. Rick Sanchez, of course, in the chat says, as a Ferrari fan, I'm depressed AF. At least Ferrari's on pole somewhere. For now, Rick Sanchez, for now. Let's hope Rusty Nish can keep that, but considering Freeze has just come out and he is looking strong in the Mercedes AMG, only time will tell if he gets to keep that provisional pole, Rusty Nish. And of course, as predicted, Sri Manasa, yay, all the best, Kapi. Only Kapi's friends are coming by. 11 of y'all watching, make sure you drop in the chat who you're here for, which one of these drivers you'd like to see on pole, and possibly go on to win the race or get themselves on the podium. Victory 56 has retired. What has happened to the Renault driver as Sector 1 goes yellow? Which means he won't be able to set a lap time anymore with just 20 seconds, just over 20 seconds to go, which means he will settle for P13. Gouts, Thunderbird, Thor and VPA have an opportunistic moment right now to better themselves and possibly send Victory 56 to dead last. Most of the drivers, top 8 drivers except Rusty Nish, are on their fast laps, which means Rusty Nish will not be able to better that lap time. Yes, qualifying ends. Rusty Nish is on provisional pole, but Freeze, Hyrox 24, UK, KDB, Sick Nig are all on their fast laps. KDB sets a lap time that gives him P4, not good enough for pole. But Freeze still in contention as he goes through sector 2. Of course, Rocketman in the chat says, crying Tifosi noises. Let's not even go there, mate, as Freeze's lap time gets invalidated, which means Rusty Nish doesn't have him to worry about, but Hyrox 24 Let's see if he can pull something off here. Nope, he goes wide, which means he's not on a fast lap, which can contest for pole. UK seems to be incredibly slow. Sicknig will settle for P6. Srivatsan in the pits, which means no lap time there. Mr. Wex doesn't seem like he can pull off anything here, but will get a better lap time perhaps. No, he doesn't. P9, which means it is final as Hyrox24 struggles to come across the line. Rusty Nish will take pole in the German GP of the Bwoah Racing League. Yep, Ferrari on pole, Mercedes on at P2 and Racing Point at P3. The German GP is going to be quite a race, isn't it? As we wait for a couple of more drivers to go across the finish line. Gauds in an unfortunate P14. He couldn't better that time. KDB P4, UK P5. Big Manjo seeming off pace in P10. Mr. Wex in P9, he'll be happy about that. And both the Red Bulls in the top 10, P6 and P7. So we'll see them starting side to side. Side by side. Yep, Rusty Nation on pole here at the German GP. Yep, Ferrari on pole. Rick Sanchez in the chat called it pretty well there. Yes, Neil Neeraj Patel as well cheering on for Rusty as he's on pole at the German GP. He has won the Australian GP of the Bwoah Racing League first race in the Ferrari before going to McLaren, and now he's back in the Ferrari. He'll be looking to take the win. Let's see if he can. He's got Freeze right on his tail, will be right on his tail, and as the order stands, P1 for Rusty Nish in qualifying, P2 for Freeze, and P3 for Hyrox24, who was our winner at the Hungarian GP. Mr. Wex has a 5 place grid penalty, possibly, yes. Seems like it. And as we wait for the drivers to sort out their setups, we've got 14 folks watching us right now. Shrimanasa can't wait to see Only Copy race right away. So she's like, start. We will be starting. Make sure the rest of the folks who haven't already dropped in the chat who you're here for. Make sure you share who you're here for. Which driver are you here to support? Which driver do you think can take a possible win at the German GP? Drivers are sorting out their setups. There is a penalty for readying up way before required, so they're going to take their time. Last time around it was 6356, and prior to that it was Cygnus Raghavan. They're not getting all the love from the other drivers after the race, so clearly everyone being super cautious this time around. Only Copy and VPA, both of them. Okay, a lot of supporters for the debut driver as well. Gouts giving everyone else a chance at pole, says Rick Sanchez. Okay, let's see. Is Gouts being that generous or is he slow? Copy VPA. Yep, the debut driver. Yeah, VPA. Let's see where he'll put himself at the finish. Let's see how he races. He did put himself probably way over P10. Not an ideal qualifying. He is new to the game itself, and looks like we've got someone in the commentators box. And he left. Drivers tend to do that, messing around. Let me just quickly check. Okay, looks like a discussion's going on amongst the drivers as Vex got a 5-place grid penalty. Drivers are deciding, stewards are deciding what to do next. I was skeptical about that, but looks like we could be ready to go racing. Yep, we are. And unfortunate disconnection for Big Man Joe, which means he may not start the race, but looks like horseman migrating, glitches, issues, and the Williams is off. Disastrous start. There could be a possible restart. Yes, it's absolute disaster in the race start. Yep, we are definitely having a restart after this. The cars are all over the place. The cars are all over the place. The game has done it yet again. Folks, we are looking at a restart. Yes, Big Man Joe, what's up?
So we had an issue with the qualifying session, so we will be redoing the lobby with a custom grid. So none of the positions changes, but the top 10 guys will be starting on the soft, and then everyone below that gets free choice of prize.
Awesome, cool. Thanks to that. Yep, a chaotic start we just saw. Clearly, we did expect a restart.
Yeah, so Mr. Vex had an issue which he got a 5-place grid penalty for something that didn't happen on track.
Okay.
He actually, I think his bot or something happened where he collided with grid. So we're just redoing the lobby with the same grid positions, but yeah, it's a new lobby. I'll see you
Awesome.
there.
Cool. Yes, see you there. We hope to see some brilliant racing from your side, Big Man Joe.
Will do.
Yep, and that was Big Man Joe letting us know that the race will restart. A bit of an issue with Mr. Vex getting a penalty which was unprecedented. So yeah, folks, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. I ain't. We ain't. As the driver's ready up, custom grid is in play. Let's see who come on top. Looking forward to the race start. Rusty Nish on pole and Freeze right behind him with Hyrox 24 at P3. Meanwhile, if you are a Formula 1 fan, why don't you drop in the chat who do you support in real Formula 1? Which team do you support? What do you think about the race coming up today at 6:30 p.m. And if you don't watch real Formula 1, you really have to. Clearly, you are somewhat passionate about it at considering you're here watching the Bwoah Racing League races for your friends. So make sure you watch real Formula 1 as well. More the merrier in terms of Formula 1 fans. Still a better start than Belgium 2012, says Rick Sanchez. The lad is not stopping, is he? And yes, only Cuppy's friends are in the chat. Absolutely brilliant. Keeping it buzzing. Good stuff. Stay with us, folks, as we wait for the drivers to lobby up once again to go racing at the German GP of the Bwoah Racing League. Yes, folks, the drivers are lobbying up as we speak. Meanwhile, in the chat, I noticed Ryan saying that he expects Danny Rick in Real Formula 1, Daniel Ricciardo in the Renault to take a podium, making sure he gets the shoey, and Cyril, the team principal of Renault, getting a tattoo. Yep, that'll be interesting for sure. Lily Bobby says, still I'm watching because Cuppy is my love. Okay, good to see. The boys have incredible friends in the chat. Nero X Gaming did join us for a bit of a moment as well. I don't know if he's watching, but for those of you who don't know, Nero X is the 5-time race winner at the Race to Zero Hour. Incredible racing is an understatement when it comes to Nero X. And like I mentioned, Ryan as well, he is Kumomi Zora in the Race to Zero Hour. And both the drivers will be joining us next season in the Bwoah Racing League, possibly. That is the prediction. That is what they've agreed to. Let's see if they can. Next season is going to be an absolute banger for sure. This season is turning out to be completely amazing and an incredible experience for each driver with our post-race sessions, our post-race chats. If you don't watch that, if you don't know they exist, make sure you check out our channel on the Mondays and Tuesdays after the race. We have interviews with the podium finishers, and we talk about the race itself, and going into the next race, what they expect, what they think, whether they'll be on the back foot or on the front foot, and what they think about real F1. And as the drivers ready up, race at the German GP of the Bwoah Racing League, Hockenheimring. If Srivatsan were here, if he was here in the commentators box, I'm sure he would have said, let's hope for rain. Let's hope for rain. I don't know if the feeling's the same when he's in a car about to race, but let's see. We have seen it rain in Germany in real Formula 1. It was in 2019. We saw a huge mix-up in the grid. We saw the two Mercedes AMG cars go all over the place, did not finish in the points until both the Alfa Romeos were penalized. And on the podium, surprisingly, was Max Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel, and Danny Kvyat. Yeah, all three drivers who owe their career partly to Helmut Marko. That was an interesting one. And let's hope for an equally interesting one here today. As the drivers lobby up, looks like they are set to go. Custom grid, making sure all the top 10 drivers get their positions on the grid. They will be starting on the sauce, whereas everyone from P11 till the end will have free of choice in terms of tire compounds. Please give Nero X a Williams. He's too OP. Nero X GOAT. Yep, Nero X. Nero X has incredible racecraft. And yeah, clearly everyone knows that. And for those of you who don't know, the Bwoah Racing League is based on realistic performance. So most of the leagues are based on equal performance cars, which means each driver has a car functioning in the same way. And here we have realistic performance, which means the cars actually perform as per their real counterparts, so to speak, which means the Williams are the slowest and the Mercedes AMG cars are the fastest. That gets you thinking, doesn't it, that Big Man Joe is topping the driver standings in an Alfa Romeo. So that should give you some kind of context into how, even though you have realistic performance, it does matter by a huge margin how much you race, how much you practice, how much you put in time into this game. We have seen drivers mention that the physics of both F1 2019 and F1 2020 are widely different. KDB, in fact, retired from a F1 2019 race right after F1 2020 race he had attended the previous day. But yeah, that's all. And someone's in the commentators box. So who is it?
Hello.
Rocky Man?
Yes.
Yes, thought so. You almost sounded like Mr. Vex. So I was just being cautious. What's up, Rocket Man? What's up? Thoughts on today's race?
Today's race is going to be interesting. We surprisingly saw some people off pace today, especially Big Man Joe, who's looking like he's finding it very. I don't know what was the problem during the qualification, but he is way off pace. He was aiming for the win before the race. So should be interesting to watch him race today.
Yep.
Guppy is making a lot of noise around the league. Many people cheering him for him as well.
Yes, he is. 3 races and 2 podiums already.
Yes, and of course our veterans UK and KDB will also be a good watch today.
I'm sure. Looks like we're set to go. Race at the Hockenheim League. Do you miss it? Do you miss not being on track?
Yes, definitely. It's sometimes a bit too much.
Yeah.
But I try to make it up by at least chilling with you in the commentators box, watching people race.
Hell yes. Yep. It's like a set for the race start. Would you like me to stream onto Discord?
No, I'm watching the stream through the YouTube channel. So.
Alright, cool. Oh, okay, looks like someone called you a boring Kimmy in the chat. This guy Rick Sanchez in the chat is going off. He's been cracking jokes. He's a friend of Gout's, is what I think. It's just a hobby. Roshan. And yes, as the drivers sort out their setups for the race, doesn't look like it's gonna be raining. Accelerate is missing today. Surprising.
Did he miss the last race as well?
Nope, he didn't. Nope, he put himself on the podium. P2. He's possibly he is the only driver in the absence of Big Man Joe and KDB to rack up a lot of points in the driver standings.
Yeah, Big Man Joe will be certainly interesting to watch today. Because he's been missing in action for a long time.
Yep. Yes, he has. And Rusty Nish and Freeze are starting P1 and P2 respectively. They had mentioned that both the Ferrari and Mercedes will be in their element coming into this race. Let's see how it goes as the session's ready to start. Race start at the German GP of the Bwoah Racing League. Let's hope there's no hiccups this time around. And we are set to go as a beautiful pull there by the McLaren and the Alfa Romeo. Red Bull off track right away. Rusty Nish goes through that corner almost seamlessly. Off track their racing point. Pushing Freeze to the right hand side. Retires from the session almost instantly there, Thunderbird. And gets shunted. Harry Rocks 24 in the process. And the safety car is out already. 3 seconds, 4 seconds. That's all it took. VPA gets disqualified from this session as well. Thunderbird gets DNF'd almost instantly. And safety car chaos at Germany, and we missed it because we thought Mercedes AMG and Scuderia Ferrari are going to go neck and neck into turn 1. Only Cuppy at the back of the pack. He had qualified P8. Now he's running at the back of the pack. Rusty Nish is leading this race, but safety cars out on lap 1. Probably took about 5 seconds. 5 seconds and 2 or 3 turns for the safety car to come out. What a disaster. And we've lost 2 drivers already. Oh God. And VPA on his debut gets disqualified. He did mention that he was facing internet issues. Clearly it cost him heavily. It said that he was blocking the pit lane entrance. Weird. That's not a particular kind of penalty you would expect to be handed out by the game. As of now, in terms of switches, Big Man Joe's up into P7. KDB UK holds on to P4, P5 respectively, and looks like they're racing at the back of the pack. No, they aren't. Both drivers, Oni Kapi and Seto RC18, go into the pits, and the hard tires come out. Nope. The mediums come out for both drivers, and Mix356, the only lad on hards. Mediums, all around, but softs in the top 8. Top 10 now, as Supreme Leader gets a 5-second penalty after severe collision. No, Thor gets a 5-second penalty after severe collision with Supreme Leader. Under safety car, they won't be too happy. I'm pretty sure this is not the first time someone's messed with the Supreme Leader's race. He won't be pleased. He will be talking to Thor closely as he almost shunts into that McLaren there. Thunderbird has 5-second penalty after severe collision with Mr. Wex. Even though that didn't seem severe, he did kind of nick him under safety car, so maybe that's why the game triggered that penalty. Meanwhile, Gaut's still running P12. He was running P14, but after those two drivers have retired from the session, he's put himself in P12. Roshan says Gauts +1, so it begins. Yes, we could see a possible climb by the lad. He is on the medium tires while most of the grid is on the softs, but he has Wix356 to worry about right behind him. And Wix356, if he gets a gap, he isn't looking anywhere else. He will take that gap like the racing driver he is, the virtual racing driver, so to speak. And the safety car's third lap here as Rasinish leads the race. Freeze in P2, Hyrox 24 in P3, holding their positions well. It's a Mercedes, Ferrari and Mercedes in the front. Beating up their tires there in the front, the boys. Let's see what kind of race we can expect. And the safety car still stays out. Siknig had qualified with his teammate Srivatsan in the top 10, but Srivatsan has fallen all the way to P11. Absolute chaos into the start of the race. So clearly, it wasn't even turn 1, it was just the start. So weird, absolutely weird and unfortunate for most of the drivers. Definitely unfortunate for Thunderbird and VPA, even though I have a feeling VPA's retirement was caused by a glitch in the game or an internet issue. Rick Sanchez says Ferrari strategist watching Gauts for tips. Of course, dude, Sam VPA disqualified and Kapi last. Yes, unfortunate, but safety car in this lap, which means we are ready to go racing here at the Hockenheim ring once again. Let's see which driver comes out on top, as the whole grid, the entire grid are within a second of each other. UK and Hyrox 24 switching positions. No, Hyrox 24 has been ghosted, which means he has lost connection from the race, which is unfortunate. He was running P3, qualified P3. He will be kicking himself his router, but he has joined. Looks like that kick on the router worked out. 5-second penalty for KDB as he ignores yellow flags, and we are back here racing at Hockenheim as Mr. Wex is the last lad to get the jump on Hyrox 24. As he returns after an internet issue, Supreme Leader will get that jump on Mr. Wex. Supreme Leader making strides almost instantly. Both cars getting ghosted for some unknown reason. Srivatsan 10 will get the jump wheel to wheel with Williams. What is Thor doing? What is Srivatsan doing is the question. They were wheel to wheel shunting into each other. A lot of cars getting ghosted unnecessarily. Looks like Gauts is on the tail of Thor. Next up, and Mr. Wexen, Supreme Leader close enough. Okay, ghosting. The cars are ghosting in a way which is peculiar. And yes, Big Man Joe makes strides as one of the drivers. UK has gone off track. Sector 3 goes yellow. Unfortunate for him as he drops positions, giving a lot of drivers climb they desired, and UK gets a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits there. Freeze sets the fastest lap time. Hyrox24 is leading this race. Meanwhile, Rusty Nish has fallen to P3. What did we miss? This is the question. DRS enabled. Hyrox24 leading this race after disconnecting and rejoining. Okay, apparently VPA is a competitor in the mobile game PUBG as well, and the folks in the chat is mentioning that he is A1 in PUBG, which means probably he's trying his hand at Formula 1, which is great. We always like to see a lot of these gamers switch between game to game. If he's good in PUBG, completely different game, both of them. Let's chat about that later. Hyrox24 leading this race. Freeze right behind. Rusty Nish was completely caught off guard at some point for sure, as Seto RC18 gets the jump on Vix356, and looks like Seto RC18 will be in attacking distance of Only Cuppy any moment now. But we've seen Only Cuppy defend like the lad he is, so it's not going to be easy for Seto RC18 clearly. The other drivers who are closest to each other are Big Man Joe and Sickening and KDB. Let's go on to that three-way battle as McLaren Gouts on the tail of Srivatsan 10 soon enough. Perfect corner there. Yep, and yes, Setu RC18 will be looking for a gap. Only Cuppy goes a tad bit wide. Brilliant exit for Setu RC18. Can he get the jump? Any moment now will get slipstream. Yes, on the gearbox of Only Cuppy, goes beside him, going into the next turn. Seto RC18 does that overtake seamlessly. The Haas driver showing what he's made of. Only Cuppy is still on the tail of Seto RC18, but he'll have to improve his pace if he wants to stand a chance as UK falls to the back of the pack. Disastrous, but with just under 30 laps to go. Let's see what happens. Thor running at the back of the pack. Hyrox24 has a 1 minute gap to Freeze, and he has disconnected, which means Hyrox24 has a possible minute to return. Otherwise, he's gonna miss out on the race lead. Only Cuppy via Vix356 are fighting. Nope, Mr. Wex goes into the pits. Change of tires. Mediums are on. What is the gap? Hyrox24 seems to be set for now, but he needs to return. Either that or the game is giving us an incredibly wrong set of data. Srivatsan 10 gets the jump on Gouts. Gouts losing out on a position he could have kept. Srivatsan 10 getting ghosted for no reason whatsoever. Supreme Leader holding on to a P7. Big Man Joe KDB real close to each other, or just over a second in terms of gap. KDB will be looking to get on top of the pecking order. Rusty Nish is his next competitor in front of him as he comes along the main straight. And yep, Freeze has fallen because he's gone into the pits for a change of tires, gets the mediums out, and Supreme Leader will overtake him as well, which means Hyrox24 has Rusty Nish to worry about, and that Scuderia Ferrari seems to only be closing in on him. Freeze comes out on P11. 3-second time penalty for Only Cuppy after multiple warnings. Seems like in this session the cars are getting ghosted for no reason, a little bit too much. So clearly that's an issue with the game, but Big Man Joe has KDB and Rusty Nish in front of him. Hyrox24 better be back soon enough because he's disconnected and has a hungry Ferrari, Williams and Alfa Romeo behind him. Those three lads are probably some of the best here at the Bwoah Racing League, and they're not going to go easy on him. the gap between Rusty Nish and Harry Rocks 24 is only closing by the corner. And Rusty Nish goes into the pits for a change of tires, which means he will come out possibly behind Freeze. Or will he keep that lead? Will he get that position ahead of Freeze? Supreme Leader gets that jump as well. Supreme Leader seems to be the lad who can capitalize on everything that's happening. But he did start off on the mediums, so not too wise for him. Freeze will be looking to attack only Copy. It looks like a 5v battle soon enough. Gauts, Srivatsan, Setu RC18, only Copy, Freeze. Yep, going into the main straight, we got Srivatsan leading there, but Gauts right behind him will look for a gap, will get that one inside and gets that overtake done beautifully. But can he hold it is the question. Srivatsan dives down the inside and gets it back. Nope, Gauts holds it. Srivatsan completely going rhetorically to the right. Horrible by him. He will be noted. That will be noted by the stewards. He loses positions incredibly, giving Setu RC18 only a copy and Freeze just what they needed. And Gauts is up into P5 on the medium tires. I'm guessing Supreme Leader and Gauts will be running on the same strategies. And looks like Freeze has come out on top of Rusty Nish. Look at that difference in positions between Freeze and Rusty Nish. Freeze in P6 already, and Rusty Nish came out on fresh mediums at P10. Big Man Joe goes into the pits and the switch in tires. Mediums are out, which means Supreme Leader is still out on track. Softs, KDB and Irox are the only lads on softs. Only copy with a 3-second time penalty after multiple warnings. Vishnu going crazy in the chats, yelling Big Man Joe, Big Man Joe. Yeah, we say the RC18 gets the job wheel to wheel here. Racing Point and Haas, three-way battle. Racing Point, Haas and McLaren, who will come out on top. Haas tries to hold it. Beautiful three-way battle into here. Three ways into that corner as well. Haas goes wide. Racing Point trying to get a good exit. Does get a marginally good exit. Holds on to that position. What a moment that was. Gauts still trying to get that jump, but Haas looking stronger. Setu RC18 will get that P5. Only Copy in P6 has Gauts to worry about behind him. And Gauts has Big Man Joe on his tail, who's just come out of the pits and is looking to get his podium finished possibly quicker than later. Tries down the inside, doesn't quite get a gap. He's got Rusty Nish on his tail. Another competitor, Supreme Leader, gets that jump on KDB as he goes into the pits. Yep, Big Man Joe will be looking for a gap. DRS enabled, slipstream going into turn 1. Will he get it? No, he won't on the tail of Gauts. Gauts doing a phenomenal job at defending. Peeking down the inside, doesn't quite get it, goes wide. Big Man Joe, Gauts doing a phenomenal job there. Rusty Nish trying to capitalize on that moment. Three-way battle once again. Rusty Nish looks for a gap, can see it, doesn't quite seem to have the pace. Big Man Joe looking for a gap, gets the jump on Gauts going into the next corner. Who's going to come out on top? It will be Big Man Joe. Gauts fending off Rusty Nish there, who's got Vixie 5.6 to worry about, and it's a crash. It is an unfortunate crash for the Ferrari and the Renault. He won't be happy, Rusty Nish, and he has left the session. Disaster for the Ferrari. Yep, parking on track, he has retired. A pole position, pole sitter Rusty Nish seems to have retired. Unfortunate, as Irox 24 continues to lead the race. That three-way battle turned into an absolute messy one for Rusty Nish. Big Man Joe meanwhile ahead of Gauts, but has Setu RC18 in his Wiser almost. Yep, Setu RC18 holding off Big Man Joe. He's on a different strategy clearly. 3-second time penalty for only Copy. Close enough, but Big Man Joe, what a climb he's making here at the Hockenheim ring. Clearly stamping his dominance, saying, boys, I'm on the top of the driver standings for a reason. Meanwhile, Mr. Wex trying to get the jump on his teammate Gouts will get it. Setu RC18 will be looking to challenge Big Man Joe for the position soon enough. Both the McLarens will be racing soon enough. They are on team radio with each other. Both the teammates, more often than not in each team, are on team radio talking to each other which driver has the pace, which driver can come out on top. And they are communicating pretty well. I feel we have seen teammate battles before. We've seen Racing Points go wheel to wheel multiple times. We've seen the McLarens go wheel to wheel multiple times as well. And clearly BRL Thunderbird joining us to watch the race. And looks like he will be in attacking distance, Mr. Wex. But can he is the question. Looks like McLarens are set for a positive result at the German GP. It's all a matter of execution as we go into the last 20 laps of the race. We've lost 3 drivers already, one of them being a pole sitter and the other 2 at the start of the race. Meanwhile, Freeze, his strategy really did pay off. He did come ahead of Rusty Nish, and with Rusty Nish out of the picture, and this track really where he's advantageous in, he feels he's strong at, this could result in a brilliant result for him. But that gap, I'm still questioning whether it's a glitch in the game or an actual gap between Hyrox24 and Supreme Leader. And yep, Hyrox24 is back, so that's good to know. He is racing, and the 1 minute gap to Supreme Leader is convenient for him because, well, he has nothing to worry about. No one to worry about behind him, and small mistakes, nothing to worry about there either. Unserved time penalties, no worries. A minute of time penalties, if he racks it up that much, then it's going to be unfortunate. But right now, he's in a comfortable lead as he goes into the pits for changing tires. 11 laps on the softs. Good job there by Hyrox24. And correct me if I'm wrong, but he possibly could come out as the race leader once again. Yep, and what's going to go on? Mediums are on. As Supreme Leader looks like he's still in Sector 2. Only Cuppy meanwhile getting that jump. Looks like they're both battling it out there. Yes, they are. Vix356 and Only Cuppy. Meanwhile, Mr. Wex gets that jump on Setu RC18. They are fighting going into the corner. Looks like the Haas has both the McLarens to worry about right now, as Mr. Wex did get that jump in position. Gouts looking mighty strong on the tail of Setu RC18. Going into the next corner. Will he get a perfect exit? Tad bit of a mess up there, but Setu RC18 seems to be closing in on Mr. Wex. Rick Sanchez says Zach Brown is watching the race. So sincere. Rick Sanchez. Meanwhile, Freeze gets the jump on Supreme Leader as he goes into the pits after a phenomenal 14 laps on those mediums. And what's going to come on? He's serving an unserved time penalty. Serving a time penalty. Yes, he is. And the hards come on. He is looking to the longer stint, which means he possibly is going till the very end of this race on the hards. Vix356 kind of on a different kind of strategy. Only Cuppy on his tail, something for him to worry about. Only Cuppy on the mediums, 13 laps old, in attacking distance, will peek down the inside. Vix356, how will he defend? No, gives him the gap exists, almost spins out there, Only Cuppy, but is shook a bit, making sure Vix356 holds on to that position. Still close enough for him to peek down the inside. Yes, he does. And this time around, Cuppy will try and keep it clean. Yes, he will. Round the outside, will he get the overtake done? Goes wide. Vix356 holds on to that position. But who has the better exit? Yes, it's Vix356. Which means there's no stopping there for Vix356. These two seem to be going wheel to wheel on every corner, trading positions. And looks like we have someone in the commentator's box. Is it Rusty Nish?
Hi Sarthak, I'm Brihit.
Brihit, oh my god, Thunderbird. What happened? We missed it completely on the stream. What happened in the start of the race?
It was an unfortunate incident for me. I was at the wrong place at the wrong time basically. And some other driver's error forced me to retire.
So unfortunate. Was it VPA who forced you to retire though? No, I don't think so, right?
Actually, there was carnage at turn 1, which is always expected from Germany's turn 1. So there was a lot of cars on the outside the track. So I don't know what forced them to come in the inside. Which because of that I lost my front left. So because of that I retired. I went in the wall. That was unfortunate. Super unfortunate.
Disaster. Yep, you barely got to turn 1, right?
Yeah. That just happened after turn 1, so it was very unfortunate. But seems like so many other drivers are having a good day today.
Yep.
Including Setu. He gained 7 positions.
Yes, he is, and the McLaren drivers as well. And Big Man Joe making that climb, KDB making that climb.
Wow, yeah.
Yep, incredible racing. Tough luck, but of course I'm sure we're looking forward for you to set the Thunder Lap, so we can have you once again at the Thunder Lap chat on IGTV. Next race maybe.
Yeah, maybe, Sarthak. I'll wish for that.
Yep. And Sicknig will get that jump on Gouts. You're welcome to stay with us, Thunderbird. And
Sure, I just appreciate it.
yep. And KDB in P5 looks like a bunch of positions jumping through there as Setu RC18 goes on the hards. Yep. He's on a similar strategy to the Supreme Leader, but he's coming out on fresher hards. Meanwhile, Haas and Racing Point Haas and Renault going wheel to wheel almost. Only Cuppy and Vix356. Not the first time these two lads are fighting each other, and only Cuppy comes out on top this time around. Gouts fall into P11 after that change in tire compounds. Which strategy would you have gone for, Brihit?
I was trying for medium soft. Generally people try for medium hards or some other strategy, but I was trying for medium soft. It was giving me -2 seconds, but I feel that for my car that was perfect. But even one stopper is a nice thing on this track if you can manage the tires. I see so many drivers on hards now, so I guess they're going for one stopper.
Yep, seems like it. Yeah, Supreme Leader and KDB, the two notable ones in the top 10. Vix356 has started off on the hards and is still on the hards after 16 laps.
Setu and Vix are having a battle.
Yep.
They're so close.
Yeah, close enough. Vix356 had only Cuppy to worry about. Now he has Setu RC18 to worry about. As they come along the main straight, they will have DRS. Setu RC18, it's his time to shine. Will he is the question. Going into the turn 1, he doesn't find a gap, but with a bad exit for Vix356, Setu RC18 will get that jump and that position wheel to wheel going into the next turn. Vix356 tries his best, but not good enough. Setu RC18 gets that P9 position, but another long straight. Vix356 wheel to wheel on that straight. Vix356 holds on to that position of his. P9 is his.
Oh, he went wide.
I went wide, opening it up for Setu RC18 once again.
You see, Setu will have his chance on the DRS zone.
Yep, he will. He peeks down the inside. Close. 3-second time penalty for freeze after multiple warnings. Brilliant race by Setu RC18 today. Can he get the pace going into the next corner? No, he doesn't. Vix356 holding on. 3-second time penalty for KDB as well.
Setu is having just 1 lap old hards and Vix is on 17 laps old hards. So I think that's why he was struggling a bit.
Yep, and he dives into the pits just as we started talking about tire compounds. What tires will he put on? Mediums.
Go for mediums, yeah, mediums.
Yep, and he is serving a time penalty. Up and a new wing as well. Up the Renault looks like a Red Bull's in the pits as well, which is Srivatsan, who is switching from the mediums onto another set of mediums. Meanwhile, Hyrox 24's gap has shortened down to 47 seconds to freeze. A safety car is all freeze and Big Man Joe can hope for. Mr. Vex actually in P4. Good race for the McLaren driver. Meanwhile, Brihit, the folks in the chat are saying it's okay, Thunderbird. You can do better next time. So nice to see the lads who are watching. They actually support every driver regardless of who it is.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Yep. And Mr. Vex at P4 trying to close in that gap with Big Man Joe, who's trying to do the same with Freeze. Looks like they will have the advantage. Mr. Vex on the back foot, however, considering his medium tires have been gone through 13 laps already.
He's closing in the gaps slowly.
He is.
Even at one point, I thought Sika was catching up to KDB. He was within a second, but now he is dropping considerably every lap.
He is. Supreme Leader on the hard seems to be making a climb. Watson 10 and Thor racing at the back of the pack. Looks like multiple cars getting ghosted. Yep, Mr. Vex is dropping, which means he is in the pits and gets the mediums. Big Man Joe in P3. Meanwhile, the closest closest bunch of drivers are Sicknick and Supreme Leader. Supreme Leader closing in.
Yeah. I think he got the DRS.
Yep. Probably 2 more corners. Yep, bad exit by Sicknick gives him the advantage, Supreme Leader. And we'll see a move right about in the span of the next 2 corners. Meanwhile, the only other driver closer to another competitor is Setu RC18, who's got like over a 2-second gap to only Kapi. 12 laps to go at the German GP or the Bwoah Racing League, and we've already got 3 retirements. Unfortunate ones. We've got Brihit in the commentator's box. He did explain to us what happened in the start of the race, and Sicknick goes into the pits, which means Supreme Leader will get that position. Meanwhile, KDB with 11 laps on the hards, struggling to close in that gap to Big Man Joe. Freeze closing in on that gap as well. 45 seconds right now, just over 45 seconds, almost 46. Hydrox.
And Sicknick are having a battle.
Yup, they
as
are.
He comes out.
Okay, right out of the pits, and he is fighting already.
Kapi is on his 20 laps old mediums, and Sika is on fresh mediums. So I guess Sika will be able to overtake him in the next part of the time.
But let's see what only Kapi can do in terms of defending. Late braking by Sicknick plays in his favor. Bad exit by only Kapi, and wheel to wheel, the 2 drivers go into the next corner. Tries down the inside, doesn't quite get it. Sicknick, only Kapi holding that position strong. Bad exit.
Should fit for the next compounds very soon. I think 20 laps old mediums with that fuel load is very bad idea.
Yep. Meanwhile, Freeze pits for mediums. And yep, a bit of a moment there. Only Kapi going off track a bit, and Sicknick getting that position. Setu RC18 capitalizing on that mess up by only Kapi, puts himself in P8. Brilliant stuff. Up the McLaren right behind only Kapi. That's Gouts in on his gearbox any moment now, soon enough. A gap he needs to close. Big Man Joe running P2 with 13 lap old medium tires. Freeze just came out P3 on a brand new set of medium tires. Meanwhile, not an ideal race for UK, who qualified in the top 5, and right now he's running P11. He'll be happy about the fact that Setu RC18 is running up on top in P8.
Yes, Sarthak. I feel each one of us, like, if one does not do well, the other one does.
Exactly. Yep. It's either one of them have their days, or we've seen both of them actually finish quite close to each other before.
Yeah.
Uh,
They both are capable of coming on the podium together also. I feel. They have their capability and caliber both, and the car also. So I feel. See, now only Kapi goes in the pits. I guess he'll come out on softs.
You think so? Softs, he's
Yeah.
doing your strategy. 21 laps on the mediums. My God.
I think that costed him a lot of time, but let's see. I think he'll come on softs.
Yep. Brilliant prediction there. Clearly, you're a driver to be reckoned with. Mr. Thunderbird.
Maybe he's trying for Thunder lap this time.
Yes. Possibly is trying for the Thunder Lap. Thunder Lap chat. The Thunder Lap chat on our IGTV of the Roadrunner Racing Co Esports after the race, or possibly 24 hours after the race, named after Thunderbird, who's with us right now, because he set the lap time, set the fastest lap time 3 times already in 3 different races. So yeah.
And meanwhile, Karthak, I feel Supreme Leader is going to make move on KDB anytime soon.
Yes, he is. Soon enough.
He's going to get the DRS in the next. I think in Sector 1, later part, he'll get the move done.
Let's see. It'll be the first clean race in a long time for him. He's had too many competitors come and destroy his race, both in the Bwoah Racing League as well as in the other leagues he competes in.
Super unfortunate, Sarthak.
Yeah, actually.
I think, yeah, and Supreme Leader is now gaining on KDB.
Yep, he is on his gearbox, side by side they go. Supreme Leader with a brilliant overtake. Will he get the perfect exit that he needs? No, opens it up for KDB. And he gets it. KDB holds on to that position for now. So any moment now, Supreme Leader on the tail of KDB. Freeze had set the fastest lap time just about a couple seconds ago. Big Man Joe running P2 with 15 lap old mediums. Wonder what kind of...
also making a move on Big Man Joe, I guess. In the next later part of Sector 1, he'll also try for the DRS and get over Big Man Joe.
He will. Similar part of the track as he did, goes wide. Meanwhile, Supreme Leader has DRS once again. And KDB in his sights. Can he pull it off this time in the same part of the track? 3-second time penalty for Mr. Wex after multiple warnings.
Freeze gaining on Big Man Joe.
Yep, and on the tail of KDB is Supreme Leader. Freeze tries to look around the outside, doesn't quite get it. Bad exit for Big Man Joe. Down the inside he goes. Freeze comes out on top.
That was 2 overtakes in a matter of 10 seconds.
Yep. Meanwhile, a similar thing here by KDB on Supreme Leader wheel to wheel as they will be going into entering Sector 3 right about now. Still in Sector 2, though Supreme Leader loses it there onto the curb and wheel to wheel. These two lads don't seem to be going anywhere. Supreme Leader holds on to that position. Srivatsan gets slapped with a 5-second penalty for ignoring a blue flag.
And looks like Kapi made a move on UK.
Yes, he did. And Gouts is trying to make a move on Setu RC18 as well. Overtakes all around. Front, mid and back of the pack. UK gets that jump. Holds on to his position. He's got only Kapi on his tail. Things are getting interesting at the German GP. Gouts has Setu RC18 in his sights. Meanwhile, KDB closing in on Supreme Leader as well. Straight, it's on the straight. Yup, he'll get it. Gouts, will he? Good exit, bad exit. Goes as wide as Setu RC18 does. And going into the next corner, he's not going to look mighty bright. Only Kapi will be looking to get the jump on UK in the similar part of the track. 3-second time.
I think Supreme Leader and KDB has lost a quite of time to Mr. Vex. Mr. Vex is catching up now. It is a 3-way battle. Anyone can come on top.
Yup, it is. McLaren, Williams and Renault as they go into the following corner. Supreme Leader holding firm on that position. Upon his gearbox almost. KDB, can he pull it off? We've seen him do it before. Can he do it once again? Main straight, DRS. Will we see a three-way battle going into turn 1?
I'm sure every KDB and Mr. X will have the DRS, so I guess there will be a switch of position.
Yep, it will be. Yes, going into the next corner. Everyone's holding their positions pretty firmly. All three drivers peeks down the inside. Mr. Wex, will he get it? Can the Williams come out triumphant? No, it cannot. Can KDB hold on to that? Is the question. No, Mr. Wex has the position for now. Going into the next corner.
Whoa.
Disastrous curb there. Disastrous use of curb there by Mr. Wex. KDB on the tail of Mr. Wex now. Will peek down the inside. No, holds his position once again. Meanwhile, the gap between Harry 24 and Freeze has increased to 52 seconds. I have a feeling, Brihit, that P2, P3, P4 and P5 drivers are all hoping for a safety car. And into the pits goes Big Man Joe.
I'm sure Harry is not hoping for that because he's having a quite good gap.
Clearly. What kind of tires come on? Softs come on. Big Man Joe with the softs. Meanwhile, the three-way battle between the Renault, McLaren and Williams continue as Freeze seems to be lonely at P2. Sicknig in the mix at P7, doesn't have anyone in his sights, neither does he have anyone behind him. Seto RC18 has Gouts to worry about probably for the last 3 laps. Gouts not able to execute on an overtake which can gain him a position. Seto RC18 clearly doing a good job there, fending him off. Both of them on a similar tyre strategy.
Also, a point to note, Kapi was trying to overtake UK for like 3 laps, and UK is doing pretty well with that mediums and Haas to hold him off.
Similar.
And now Kapi made a move on UK.
He did, and we seem to have missed that because these three are closer than ever. Mr. Wex, KDB and Supreme Leader, they were fighting in the past 2 corners, and look at him go. The straight will be crucial. Who do you think will come out on top with?
I feel after the Sector 1 ending, I think Mr. X will be on top of Supreme Leader because he'll have the DRS.
Yep, you think so?
Since he's having fresh, and he's having fresh mediums,
Yep.
he'll have a good chance.
Down the inside, both of them go. Both of them go. KDB utilizing that situation to his favor. KDB gets the jump on Supreme Leader, but he's not letting him go easily. Wheel to wheel, going into the next corner. Yep, he gets that. KDB has done it again, but can he hold it? These three are enjoying this race for sure. 3 laps to go at the German GP. KDB looking around the outside of Mr. Wex for another gain in position and tries the inside line, shunts into Mr. Wex a bit.
Meanwhile, Supreme Leader is trying on the outside.
Yep, and he messes it up for him. And Big Man Joe is coming into the mix. Now it's going to turn into a 4-way battle. What a race this is turning out to be. Big Man Joe on the softs. Yep, dives down the inside.
I think it is better to retire and watch the race than race the race.
Yep, it's super fun, isn't it? Big Man Joe tried to peek down the inside of the Supreme Leader, but he couldn't quite execute on that overtake well. 4-way battle for P3, the final podium position.
I think Big Man Joe will gain position on Supreme Leader on this straight. He has the DRS.
Let's see.
No, I don't think. No.
Yeah, close enough. Supreme Leader has Big Man Joe to worry about right behind him. As mentioned, Thor gets slapped with a 3-second time penalty. Looks like a good exit by both the Renault and the Alfa Romeo drivers. Meanwhile, Srivatsan 10 goes into the pits, gets his softs out. Big Man Joe looking for a gap. Will he get it? Yes, he does. He's ahead of the Supreme Leader. KDB next up. He's 20 laps on those hards and 2 laps into the sauce is Big Man Joe. I think he can fend him off. Can he? Mr. Wex are in a podium position running place.
I feel Big Man Joe will come on the podium easily because 2 laps and he's having fresh socks, and with his caliber he can easily gain the position.
Yep, he is on top of the driver standings. Probably that will keep him on top of the driver standings. He's got KDB and Vex to beat for the podium, but anything's possible.
Big Man Joe will overtake in this lap 100%.
Yep, that's the prediction. Let's see if it's true. 3-second time penalty for Big Man Joe after multiple warnings. Gets the slipstream, dives down the inside of KDB around that corner. And will KDB do a similar tactic at that going into this one? No, he doesn't. Holds it off. Will he get a good exit? No, he doesn't. KDB doesn't have the pace to contend for that position.
Meanwhile, UK is also making a move on Gots on the straight.
Yes, he is.
He did.
Down the inside and round the outside going into the next turn. Doesn't quite get it. UK still fighting for position. Guts in the points. Will he stay there with 2 laps to go? What a race it's been for Only Cuppy. Good moments, great moments and bad moments, but he's holding firm at P11 on the softs. Doesn't seem like that's going to change, but he has Vixie 5.6 to worry about. Meanwhile, Shivatsan running dead last, and Hyrox 24 seems to have made a brilliant effort in this race, and that gap won't close.
Big Man Joe is going to make a move on Mr. Vex on the last lap. This is his last DRS chance.
Yep. Let's see if
he has the DRS. I am 100% sure he is going to come. But also a point to note that he got a 3-second time penalty.
Yep.
Let's see what.
And side by side, Supreme Leader gets the jump on KDB as well. But on board Hyrox 24, the man who pulled it all off here at the German GP. He qualified P3, 3-second time penalty for Mr. Wex. I have a feeling that podium position of P3 is going to be up for grabs, Brihit.
I feel so.
Yep.
Let's hope he has only 3 seconds, Big Man Joe.
Yep,
I think then he can maintain the lead. But also a point to note that KDB is only 4/10 of a second behind the Supreme Leader, so he is also having a good chance.
They're battling pretty well there. As going into sector 3, Hyrox 24 on his last lap, which means any moment now as he comes around the penultimate corner and the last corner, 2 times race winner at the Bwoah Racing League, Hyrox 24 pulls it off once again for the Racing Point team. Brilliant racing at that. Freeze will come across the line soon enough for the Mercedes AMG team to get that P2. But back to our fight, 4-way fight, which turns out to be the fight for P5. Siknig will come across the line P7, Setu RC18 P9 with Gouts getting P8 after unserved time penalties, I'm guessing. UK settles for P10, which means Freeze will come across the line any moment now, going into sector 3. Yep, last corner. And it's a P2 finish for the lad in the Mercedes AMG podium once again. And Big Man Joe, after a race which did play in his favor, MIA for the longest time. And right about now, around the last corner, P3 on the podium, which means still leading the drivers' standings. Mr. Wex P4, Supreme Leader P5, and an almost photo finish there for Supreme Leader and KDB.
Oh, there was a change of positions in P3, P4. Sorry, P4, P5.
Yep, Supreme Leader P5. Penalty. Brilliant racing. Hyrox 24 on the top step of the podium once again, back to back at the Hungarian GP as well as the German GP. Freeze gets P2 and Big Man Joe on his return on the podium once again. Going into the next race, what are your thoughts, Thunderbird? Do you think these three will be the ones to watch out for?
Yes, they are very dominant, and I think all the tracks they will do well. So yeah, I feel this can be the again. Also point to note, Big Man Joe could have gone P2 also because Freeze was having uh 6 seconds penalty at least. Oh no, there was a 15 seconds gap. Never mind.
Yep. Penalties all around. But the race was what it is. Hyrox24 winning the German GP of the Bwoah Racing League. Freeze getting P2 and Big Man Joe getting P3 after an impressive last 4 laps. Brilliant racing by KDB, Supreme Leader and Mr. Wex. Sicknick puts himself in the points. Gouts, a points finish once again. Setu RC18. What a race it's been for that lad. Incredible racing as always. Vix356, after an unfortunate incident with Rusty Nish, manages to get a single point. UK P11, only copy P12, P13 for Thor. Srivatsan 10 wraps it up at the back of the pack with the last 3 drivers, Rusty Nish, Thunderbird and VPA, who retired. Good race as always. Thank you, Brit, for joining me at the commentators box.
See you, Sarthak.
Yep.
Had a good time.
Cheers, everyone, and we'll see you in the next race of the Bwoah Racing League next Sunday. Make sure you tune into our post-race chat editions both on IGTV as well as on YouTube on Tuesday with the podium finishers. Cheers, everyone.